Hello. In today's video, you and I are going to learn together how do we add mixed numbers that have a common denominator. Go ahead and hit subscribe and enjoy the video. Let's go ahead and write out two mixed fractions and add them together. 4.5 plus 3.5. And what is that equal to? Well, let's talk about what a mixed fraction is really quick. A mixed fraction is a fraction that has a whole part and it also has a fraction part. And they're mixed together, just like mixing things in a bowl. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by adding the whole parts together. So in this example, 4 and 3 are my whole numbers, and when I add them together, 4 plus 3 is 7. Then I'm going to go and add my fractional parts together. 1/2 plus another 1/2. And if you recall, when you add fractions together that have the same denominator, you keep that denominator and you add the numerators together. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Now I have the fraction 2 over 2, and if you remember that with fractions, anything divided by itself is 1. So this is the sum of the fraction parts. We're going to add that to the sum of the whole parts. 7 plus 1 is equal to 8. Let's try another example where the fraction parts don't make a whole. What if I add 5 and 1/7 plus 2 and 3/7? Well, again, I'm going to take the whole parts of my mixed number and I'm going to add them together. I get 5 plus 2 is 7. Then I'm going to take the fraction parts and I'm going to add them together. 1 over 7 plus 3 over 7 is equal to 4 over 7. Because when I have the same common denominator, we keep the denominator and we add the numerators together. So my final answer here is 7 and 4/7. Let's do one more example where we see how to subtract. If I have 2 and 3/4 and I subtract 1 and 2/4, I'm going to subtract my whole numbers. 2 minus 1 is 1. And now for the fraction part, 3 over 4 minus 2 over 4. Well, I have the same denominator, so I keep it. And 3 minus 2 is 1. So my final answer is 1 and 1/4. Let's look at an example where we are subtracting two mixed numbers that have the same denominator, like 4 and 3/8, minus 2 and 5/8, but with a little bit of a twist. When you have the same common denominator, we've said that you can subtract or add the whole parts. 4 minus 2 is 2. And then you can add or subtract the fractions because they have the same common denominator. But look what happens. 3/8 minus 5/8. Uh-oh. I'm trying to take away more than what I started with. So this problem has a little bit of an extra twist because the fraction that's being subtracted is bigger than the fraction we're starting with. How do we take care of this? Well, what we're going to have to do is a little bit of an extra step. Let's take a different color here. And what we're going to do is we're going to convert these mixed numbers into improper fractions. They have the same common denominator, but in their current form, we can't subtract them. So let's do the first one, 4 and 3/8, and convert that to an improper fraction. We can do that by taking the whole number times the denominator plus the numerator. 4 times 8 plus 3. 4 times 8 is 32. 32 plus 3 is 35. 35 what? 35 eighths. This improper fraction has the same value as 4 3/8. It's just written in a different form. Now let's go ahead and look at 2 5/8. 2, the whole number, times the denominator of 8 plus the numerator of 5. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 plus 5 is 21. 21 what? 21 eighths. Now I can rewrite this problem as 35 eighths minus 21 eighths. I still have a subtraction problem with two fractions that have the same denominator, and so we're going to keep it. But now I have a bigger number and I'm subtracting a smaller number, and 35 minus 21 is 14. Now let's take that 14 eighths and convert it back to a mixed number. 14 eighths is going to be the sum of some fractions that have 8 as a denominator. Remember that we can add fractions or subtract them if they have the same denominator. So let's take 8 because that gives us a whole 1. And then what's left over? What would I have to add to 8 in order to get 14? I would have to add 6. 6 plus 8 is 14, and all of my denominators are 8. So 1 plus 6 eighths is equal to 1 and 6 eighths. So today we learned how to add mixed numbers that have a common denominator. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and hit subscribe, and we'll see you next time.